It's kind of wild when you think about it, right? How much meaning can be packed into just a single sentence? Well, today we're going to deconstruct one specific verse to see how it lays out a complete blueprint for a transformative mission.
So that really is the big question here, isn't it? How can just one sentence define an entire mission? How can it possibly hold the framework for a huge societal shift? Well, that's exactly what we're going to tackle as we dive in.
All right, so this is it. This is the sentence we're going to focus on. And yeah, I know, at first glance, it looks pretty dense. It's a lot to take in. But stick with me, because we're going to break it down piece by piece, and you'll see just how much detail is packed in there. Okay, so every mission needs a starting point, right? A why. And this verse is no different. It actually starts by painting a picture of the, let's call it the before state. It sets the stage so we understand exactly why this mission is so crucial in the first place. So the verse literally tells us what the situation was in clear error. And let's be clear, this isn't just some small issue. No, this is the fundamental problem. This is the before picture and what's basically a massive before and after story. This is the core problem that the whole mission is set up to fix. Okay, so the problem is error. The verse establishes that right away. But it doesn't just stop there and say, hey, there's a problem. Nope. It gives us a solution, a really clear three-step process for transformation. So let's dig into each of these steps. All right, so here's the game plan, broken down into 3 parts. First, you've got reciting revelations. Then, step 2 is purifying the people. And finally, step 3 is teaching the record and wisdom. What's really interesting is the order. You can see there's a clear progression here. It's not random. Each step kind of builds on the one that came before it. So step 1, it all kicks off with communication. Reciting revelations, that's all about getting the message out there, right? Introducing new information to people. You can think of it like the spark that starts the fire, because really, without this first step, without sharing this new knowledge, the other 2 steps just can't happen. Now, after that first step, things get a little different. The mission kind of shifts from something external, talking, to something deeply internal. This idea of purifying them, that's not just about hearing words. It's pointing to a real change in character, a refinement of the people themselves. So we're moving beyond just information and into a transformation of ethics, behavior, the whole inner self. And then we get to the final piece of the puzzle. This step goes even further. It's not just about hearing something and having an internal change. This is about actual structured learning. When it says teaching the record and wisdom, that feels like a formal education, doesn't it? The record, you can think of that as the texts, the roles, the what. But wisdom, man, that's the really crucial part. That's the how and the why. It's about being able to take all that knowledge and actually use it with good judgment. Okay, so let's recap. We've got the starting point, error, and we've got this very specific 3-step process to fix it. But what's the end goal? What's the point of all this? Where is it all supposed to lead? Let's take a look at the intended outcome. Wow. Okay, seeing it like this really puts the whole transformation into perspective, doesn't it? The entire journey is designed to take a whole group of people from a state of clear error all the way to a state of being taught record and wisdom. I mean, that's a massive shift. It's a move from confusion to clarity, and it's all powered by that 3-part mission we just talked about. And here's the thing. The source material doesn't make us guess what the final goal is. It's not ambiguous at all. It connects all the dots for us, super explicitly. It says that all these actions, the teaching, the purifying, they're all aimed at guiding people toward one very specific collective goal. And there you have it. That's the destination, the end goal. According to the interpretation, this whole mission, it's not just about making individuals better. It's bigger than that. It's a blueprint for transforming an entire society. It's about building what the source calls a civilized society. All right, so let's tie this all together. Let's recap the core message that's packed into this one really powerful sentence. So when you boil it all down, the verse gives us a complete roadmap. It starts by pointing out a problem, a people in error. Then it gives a clear solution, a 3-step process of reciting, purifying, and teaching. And finally, it tells us the ultimate destination, creating a civilized society. And the amazing part, all of that is laid out in just one sentence. So that kind of leaves us with a final thought, a question for you to chew on. When you look at our world today, what role do these same ideas, education and this concept of purification, or just collective self-improvement, what role do they play in building our societies? It's a pretty fascinating question when you think about it. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.
هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين.
It is he who has raised among the unlettered people a messenger from among themselves who recites his revelations to them, and purifies them, and teaches them the book/the record and wisdom, for they had formerly been clearly misguided.